Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know what time it is, right? Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Here we go. It is party time. We are getting set up here for the market. Good morning, Randolph. Good morning, Karush. It's happy hour. Let's go. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Randolph. Good morning, Polly. All right, guys. So let's get this party started. It is Wednesday, and Wednesday the 27th, and we got one heck of a move yesterday. I mean, we could all agree that was the cliff, and they all jumped. And if you thought that the market had was done selling, they sold some more, and that was an epic in the way that they did. The way they behaved yesterday. The trend was very persistent, and we are talking about where Globex is on a daily basis, 828. We gapped up into that at 5 o'clock, and the market bounced back fairly decently, and all the way up to 189, and then we got a reversal pattern that just happened. So what do we expect from today's price action? Today's price action is a consolidation. It's what we call an inside day, where the high and the low of the trading session is within the high and the low of the prior session. And typically you get a range bound market, then breakout patterns out of that range market. How do we behave in a market that looks like that? Early on, during the morning, especially after a big day like yesterday, is we have to understand the behaviors. So we have to kind of wait that first half an hour and see how the market is behaving, who is getting caught, who's getting what kind of traps the market is putting, and who is getting caught in it. Is it the longs? Is it the shorts? Is it just a tight consolidation to build up stops? There are multiple behaviors we need to be looking out for. Okay, so that is part of what I'm going to be looking to do early in the morning is gather intelligence about the participants and intelligence about the behavior of the market before I start committing to put my own capital in trades today. So, um, some of the levels that we need to be conscious of is that 189, and obviously the low of that open, which is at 12,878. and then you always got that glowbacks at 813. Now, if we end up selling below that, boy, I mean, we are looking onto uh, price actions that could even hit 12,000, so that's a possibility. And we need to kind of figure out what the market wants to do early on before we start committing capital. Now, that's just the daily. When we go into uh, the 200 NT Rinko, and to answer your question, Karush, simply I don't use time frames at all. I use Rinko bars. They measure range, and they measure displacement of price, and it does not measure how long it takes them to do it. So this chart is 200 NT Rinko, meaning it's a Rinko bar. And if we move, basically, a reversal candle would be from like 186, it's 80 points. So the 200 NT Rinko right now is a short. And if the market breaks up to 13,080, that's a reversal of the 200 NT Rinko. So as long as we continue to trade under 13,080, the momentum in the market is short. Now let's take it from there into the 100 NT Rinko. So the 100 NT Rinko has an up candle. So now you have a disconnect between what you see in the 200 and what you see in the 100. You want both of them to be pointing in the same direction, meaning that the 200 is a sell, meaning you are currently in a down candle, and you want the 100 NT Rinko to be in sync as well at 993. So if we break 993, that means this candle closed lower and both are heading in the same direction. Since the market is disconnected right now, that puts me in a pause pattern and just wait. Two things need to happen. Either we see the 93, or we see a run up to the 60, then a failure with a one candle reversal on the 100, or ultimately a break above 81. If we do that, then I shift from short thinking to long thinking. So that is the kind of the setup in the morning. Uh, if you look at every single big move in the market, bar none, doesn't matter where it is, which instrument, and how it looks like. It always looks like this. It looks as a reversal where the 200 and the 100 gets in sync, then rotations start to happen while the market is continuing uh, in that direction. Give me a second here. All right, so here we go. Cash market just opened, and it's going to be lively. It is going to be lively. That's for sure. Here we go. So they're hitting the 60 already. And here comes the 70. And potentially we are in a rotation where 82 close will lead to a shift in the 200 NT Rinko. And that will set us up for a market that is changing its bias. It's been like this since Friday, where there's a lot of volatility happening in the first half an hour. I mean, to the point where Yeah, things are almost untradeable. Good morning, Sheila. How are you? Um, Karush, I'm going to start doing webinars um, to explain a lot of these concepts where, we go in great details, going through every signal that we actually take. So it becomes clear to you as you are watching either the stream or being part of our uh, Harmony Trader system. And I'm going to be doing that through Trade Arcade coming soon, and just kind of keep an eye on the emails that I send for notification on that. Okay, that's coming up soon. We're gonna start a series there, but for now, we got a job to do, and the job is to hyper focus on what the market is doing right now because we got to make our money. We are going to make our money. And what you're seeing right now is the 200 NT Rinko closed higher at that 82 level. And now the market is shifting to a long market. And we're looking for pullbacks as a buying opportunity. I need to be patient. I need to relax into my trade. I need to wait for the right opportunity to present itself. And I need to be hyper focused on price action. That's the job that I have right now. All right, here we go. We're coming up to the whole number, and here it goes. Boom. Target number 4 hit in the sequence at 112. Target number 5 is 146 and a half. And market is pushing. So if somebody ask a question and I don't get to it very quickly, just know that my eyes are kind of trained on my screens here, and I'll get to your question. Uh, okay, you see how the price like literally moved 15, 20 points in a flash of a second. That's what I'm talking about here. We have to be patient through this type of behavior. That's I mean, you cannot enter in any of this. I mean, unless you mark it in and you get what you get as far as fills. So if we're trying to be very yeah, I mean that's a switch trade. We should go higher too here. Yeah, we should go higher to 130. Target number 5 is 146 actually. So that's a switch trade right here, and a new transitional zone. So you see them building up one after the other. Here you go. Boom. 146 is target number 5. That's coming up. So the market shifted, and it shifted at 82, right? We talked about that. And now we have multiple rotations on the upside. 146 is your target number 5. I mean, they could put a captain setup short right here, which they just did. That's a 6-prong captain setup, so you're going to get a bit of a retracement coming up. Yeah, look at that captain setup right there. Wow. If we close at 93, holy crap, look at that. 93 would be a disconnect between the 200 and the 100. Fast and Furious market. And my plan, my action plan is to be patient through the first half an hour and get the price to be manageable, more manageable for entries and exits. I'm gonna step away for just a moment. Bear with me. All right. So long and strong, right? Where did that start from? Started from that moment right here at 82. And we talked about that. It was like, all right, if they flip that here, then the market is going to go bias on the long side. And the 200 and the 100 are in sync. And then these rotations started to happen. And you got from 1380 to 82. Wow. Basically 140 points. That's a nice move. We hit target number 4, target number 5 of this sequence. Excuse me here. If we break 180, which is this level right here, the market is disconnecting between the 200 and the 100. So all this move that we saw, the minute we broke 13,082 to where we at right now, the market has not disconnected. It just continued to be with a great deal of momentum, just heading up. So it's long, stay long. Yeah, they came very close to that 180 and bounced right back up. I mean, there's a lot of signals coming up, but I'm making a choice to be patient through that first half an hour. 8:47, we got about 13 minutes to the top of the hour. Today we have at 9 o'clock pending home sales. At 9:30 Central crude oil inventory. That's the two pieces of news or economic news that we're waiting on. Hey, good morning, GM. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Hmm. So, all right. So the next level here is okay, 192. 192. Meaning as long as we continue to trade above 192, we should be we should be thinking in terms of longs. If we break 192, the market between the 200 and the 100 is out of sync, and that puts me in a uh, holding pattern. Look at that bad boy. Boom. Longs are strong. Don't fight it. Don't get cute. Don't try to fade. Let the market show us a top and trade against it. Trying to go and find a top is one of those fairly expensive endeavors. Let the market get there. If the market reversed, it looks like this. It will reverse to 206 and then continue to sell below the 200 and eventually break 155. Exactly the same concept that told us to get along at 82 is the same concept that we're going to apply for the reversal of it. So if we break that 155, then the market is reversing on the 200 and reversing on the 100. And that will put us in a position where we have a top that we can measure risk against. That's one thing. Plus, you get more solid movements because here, at any of these points, if you're trying to fade, you're thinking, oh, you should stop here. Actually, that's where most people would have, right here, because that is exactly where you would put a double top. And the market knows that. And it ran everybody above it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they reverse it now and they start fading a little bit. But I have to wait. So far, I don't have any trades done this morning. Let's take a look. '27th, and we are flat. Karush, I, my 200 and 100 are on a different screen. Uh, what you see in front of you is where I execute. So, unfortunately, I cannot put too many charts in one screen because it clutters it. And I spread them out so I could see clearly the price. And when I need to execute, I'm executing on the 220 NT Rinko, so I keep that one clean. And I use the 12 NT Rinko to confirm some of the moves. And I like to see ES because a lot of our traders here, uh, you know, look at ES quite often, and I need to be talking to them about it as well. So that answers that question. Okay. But I keep pulling the 200 and the 100 whenever we have something that changes, And right now, what changed is what we saw the market breaking that 205 where I had that line. So the 100 NT Rinko reversed. So the 200 is still pointing up and the 100 is pointing down. What does that mean? That means the market is out of harmony and it's disconnected. What does that mean for me, behavior wise? That means I need to hold off and wait for the price to reverse. So, two things can happen. Either we break to 231 and that will close the 100 NT Rinko upward, or we go all the way down to 155 and the 200 and the 100 will be in sync on the short side. I'm gonna let the market do what it wants to do till about 9 o'clock or a little bit longer. We have some economic news that's coming out soon here. Pending home sales coming out in 4 minutes. Let's see how that looks like. Crude oil is coming at 9:30 Central as well, which is in a half an hour, a little bit over a half an hour. Good morning, Safe. ES, how is ES relating to NQ? ES is a beautiful transitional zones right here. Then another one right here. And then they switched it exactly right here. And they started moving things down. So now we have target 1, 2, and 3 that we need to be conscious of. And ultimately, the bigger picture is the market is long, but now we're going through this rotation that is short. And we are in channel number 1 right now. So what do I do with all that information? Same thing. I am patiently waiting. 155, and it looks like we're gonna get hit. We're gonna hit there very quickly. Target number 4 in this sequence is happening. It's a bit of consolidation. Captain sub switch trade, then they flipped it again, came back. I mean, that's fairly noisy, but you need to break that 155 for the 200 NT Rinko to close. Any shorts, GM, or any trades that you're taking this morning? I don't have any trades going right now. That's where my blotter is. And once I put trades in it, by executing, I will show you the trades and the net result. Do you work and riot? You're long. Okay, I get it. Hmm. Captain set up switch trade right here. The expectation is to see a bit of a price pump right here. We should see a push above 200. Boom. Wow, that was a good one. Yeah. So the 200 and the 100 are in sync on the long side here. Okay, I like that one. So that is an area that the market should strengthen. That's the consistent with the news that we just saw that came out on the. Let's see here. Yeah, pending home sales. Yeah, we're getting fireworks going on here. That's good. Let them do what they want to do. The market is on the 200 and the 100. The market is in sync on the short side now. That's fast market. Yeah, the 200 and the 100 are in sync, and you're getting parabolic moves to the upside, parabolic moves to the downside. That's the kind of behavior that I am waiting for it to kind of calm down a little bit. Because it's harder to manage risk when the market is doing this type of behavior. Or it's not necessarily harder, is the cost of the trade is higher because right when the market flips and gets you 158, so 158 is when the 200 and the 100 got in sync. Now, I have two options. Option number one is just to execute right there, which means in order for me to know if I'm wrong on the trade, I would have had to wait from 60 to 200. That's 40 points for me to know. So that's the risk that I'm going to be having to take if I take it there versus waiting for the market to rally back up to the middle of the range and put a pattern of consolidation, then give me another transitional zone. I will cut my risk by a half to two-thirds when that behavior presents itself. So I rather be doing that versus kind of getting short at 158 for that run down. And because I'm not looking at it as a just a one day, it's a behavior. If I want to do one thing, I have to do it consistently every day. So I'd rather see that run up and then see the trade versus this type of behavior. So I have to wait, and I'll wait. I don't care. I'll just wait. The market has to come to me. The market has to do a behavior that I know is successful and also at a risk that I am comfortable with. And if it doesn't present that, then I wait. I am in control, right? You are in control. So, okay, so the market is disconnecting here after target number 3 was hit. We need to protect 131. Okay. What happened if they close this candle lower? I'm going to consider a potential entry here. Okay, that's quick. Let's see. Yeah, 106 into the whole number. I'm going to avoid trying to trade around the whole number. I mean, if they put a switch trade right here, I'll take it. Yeah, they're not. Nope. Wow, look at that. Oh, yeah, no luck on that one. No execution, but that was a pretty one. That was pretty. Cancel. I put my order very quickly there, but they just literally just went right through it. Nice, nice though. See, that's a new transitional zone, switch trade, a captain setup that failed. There was a lot of things going on right here in this rotation uh, that made me put an order to execute, and the execution needed to happen at that 103. And no fill, and we don't chase. So good luck to anybody that actually executed and made money. But I am not chasing nothing for nobody. And I'll wait for another setup. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for everything to be in sync, the market consolidate and give me a signal right at the inception of a new transitional zone. These are the trades that are high quality and they tend to work for a bigger moves. Yeah, there's another one right here. Come on. All right. I took it out. Okay. That's a good one too. It just paused too much and was looking for this. And off you go for a target number 4 on that sequence. ES is moving in the same fashion. You have, wow, you had a captain set up switch trade right here. So sellers are in control. Right. So right here was the establishment of the new transitional zone, and off we go for lower prices. Same thing is happening here. Target number 5 is 93 and a half. And this market is ruthless. I mean, it is whipping people left and right. So we placed an order right here, no fill. I placed an order here and I pulled it away, waiting for a signal. Signal happened and they flushed fairly quickly. So did not get in that one either. And I'll just wait for another signal. Just simple as that. Target number 5 is 93 a half. And here goes another one. That one happened without a retracement, and it's a spear trade at 16. So you got what you got here. Let's see. And target number 5 is hit 93. Okay, I mean, that's good movements. Good movements. And we're breaking below target number 5. So what that does is we have to look at other targets here. 25. Okay. 49 is our next target. And that's the target number 5 on the 25 Rinko. One heck of a move, right? One, two, three. One hell of a move. Okay, another rotation right here. Switch trade and a push. 200 and the 100 are in sync on the short side, and all the signals that are generated right now are short signals. We hit target number 5 on the 25 NT Rinko. So the next target is going to be right here. It's target number 5 on the 30 NT Rinko, which is 881. That's a big one. And in essence, if we break 881, I mean, be honest with you, I think it's gonna we're gonna probably reverse around here, but 881, I mean, you're looking at Globex. Yeah, that they're obviously I'm not gonna go against the trend, but you would think that they would pause it in and around this area, just based on the fact that we moved 250. Holy crap! I mean, 300 points. Wow. I mean, 300 points, no retracement, no pause, no reversals, no even attempted reversal. It's just straight down. Yeah, here we go. The market is disconnecting. They put a cap and set up long. They're pushing it higher. Let's see if they can get to that 13,000. If the market gets to 92, the 200 and the 100 are a sync, meaning the market is going to enter a consolidative phase. It ain't going to be pretty. Amazon is not going to look pretty. Okay, now in ES, we're disconnecting as well. This volatility is excellent for trading. It's excellent for trading. But you have to define what type of trading we're talking about. Are we talking about intraday trading or swing trading or weekly trading? As far as daily trading, it's really good. For intraday swing trading, it's good. Intraday is very good. Yeah, I mean, it's one signal after the other coming up. It's really good. All right, so the 200 and the 100 is out of sync right now. So two things need to happen. One is we need to see either we go to 33. It's 30. Okay, so if we get to 33, the 200 and the 100 is out of sync. I mean, we'll get in sync on it just happened right here. So the 200 and the 100 now are in sync. So what does that tell me? That tells me the market is going through a rotation on the upside. Okay, and I'm looking for pullbacks as a buying opportunity. And as long as we continue to trade above that 13,000, and specifically 94. So if we continue to trade above 94 and we establish a transitional zone, then that would be my would be looking for an entry. Hey, good morning, Yanis. No, no, GN. It's not I'm looking for any more pronounced. There was plenty of good signals. I'm simply committed before the day started that I will wait till around 9:30 before I start taking any trades. And I'm going to stick to my commitment, even though that I'm seeing a lot of trades that would have been extremely profitable. But lately, in the past week, the market early on has been kind of so whippy, and I've taken a drawdown through that time slot that I'm uh, elected to be cautious during this time frame. I mean, I may change it back to being aggressive during that time frame, but for today, prior to the day starting, I committed to myself that I will, no matter what, I don't care what's happening in the market, I am going to wait and watch. But it's beautiful entry points going on here. Since you're new and you're not familiar with how I trade, but this is my week so far. That's from the 25th to the 27th. And if you go to the beginning of the month, I'm at 74,000 and at 64%, 64.5%. And oh, Jesus Christ. So patience pays. I just have to be patient. Here we go. All right. So what do we see here? The 200 and the 100 will get back in sync at 30 again. Yeah, it's not time frame. I don't use time frames. I use wrinkle bars. Okay. Yeah, we need to break that 30 level in order for us to get back in sync. But the 200 NT wrinkle is up. Here you go. So we're an up candle here, and the 100 NT wrinkle is in a down candle. So that disconnect will put me on pause till that harmony comes back into the market, and that would be prices above 31 and a half, and just patiently wait. Yeah, thank you, GN, for asking questions. I do appreciate your questions. And if I don't answer them, like if you ask a question, I don't get to it quick enough, Just know that I'm not ignoring your question. I'm simply hyper focused on the market right now because I'd like to put on a couple of trades. Gotta make our money. The money is waiting on me. That money is waiting on me. So let's get it. All right. So on the 20 NT Rinko, we're seeing target number two to be 77. Okay. So here we go. 77 half. You need 31 in order for the market to get back in sync on the long side. And two things need to happen. Either the 31 comes about or they really trap people and they break it down below 53. And that would be fairly nasty, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at ES because I can't forget about ES. All right, so they established a transitional zone short, a second one. Well, actually, that's the first one. It's continuing. Uh, no, Yanis, I don't have any trades done so far. There was a couple of good ones early on. I tried one, did not get filled. I put an order on a second one, and I moved it just because it something felt wrong. But both of them worked. Both of them worked. All right. Well, it's I guess they're electing to get nasty with people because they closed at 56. 56. So now the 200 and the 100 are in sync on the short side. So what am I waiting on? I am waiting on the market to rally, to consolidate in the upper ranges, to disconnect from this transitional zone, then reestablish a new transitional zone. This is an area where people can start looking at a potential double bottom. So you would see this little run up coming up here. But I'm looking into it as a potential for an entry point short. Okay, here we go. Now I need a rally back up and a signal. So the transitional zone starting to happen. So let's see if we can get a rally back up and then a signal. Here we go. And let's see if I can get one candle close here. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So that is, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, baby. Make me some money. Don't do that. Nope. 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 Oh, so close. So close. Fill it. Fill it. Thank you. I took one more. And that is a trade. That is my first trade of the day. And that trade made us a little bit of money. and that would be an entry point with an exit about 4 seconds for $1,530. First trade of the day, and let's keep working. All right. So what's next? What's next is they could potentially put on another trade similar to that. See how they disconnected the price, and once the market builds up another transitional zone, that is an opportunity for me to get back in if I choose to take it. But everything is in alignment on the short side right now, and the rotations are persistent in their behavior. Yes, Yanis, we are meeting today, me and you. Go over your trades. All right, so a higher low, and let's see if they break that 96. They just did that. So they're establishing a new transitional zone on the upside. Now the 200 and the 100 auto sync. We are auto sync again. So we are in sync here. We're in sync here. The market went through a transition and they flipped it. That's fine. They could do that all they want, as long as I recognize what they're doing and how they're doing it. So what does that mean? That means two things need to happen. One is either the price goes all the way back up to '08, and that will get the market in sync on the long side, or at some point before we hit '08, we reverse on the 100 NT Rinko. Uh, Example, right now, let's assume the market comes back down and closes at 44 half. Well, that keeps us in sync on the short side. Then that defines the environment back for me, and I can go back in and start going short again. So those two scenarios, '08 or 44, one of them is going to happen. Anything in between those two prices, I have signals on the 20 NT Rinko that I can take if I choose to. But I mean, here you go. I don't have to. Here you go. '08 happened. See how quickly things are moving. I mean, that's just some crazy stuff going on here. Okay, 9:36, and we had inventory report on crude oil that just popped up. Let's see if we can take a look at crude. Huh. Not much of a move of crude. You got a captain set up switch trade short. That is a short signal in crude oil. Just happened right here. Boom. That is the entry point is 82 with a stop above 101, and you're looking for a push into the 60s and 40s uh, right now. Not playing crude yet. An observation about behavior today is is that first initial transitional zone that they build once the 200 and the 100 are in sync is just it's a persistent one. So they close it and they continue running. Typically, you see a bit of a pullback and a disconnect and a reconnect, but not today. These run-ups are persistent. Yeah, good morning, Safe. Good morning. I see you coming in and out. I guess it's technical issues. Oh, school pickup? Okay, I got you. Ooh, look at that. I take my eyes off for a second. Look at that, Captain. Set up switch trade. Giannis. Look at that. Oh man, that's butter right there. That's butter. That was a good one. That was a good one. I take my eyes away from the screen for a second. Boom. I mean, that's a spear. That's a Captain Sub switch trade. And boom. You would have been done to Giannis. That's for sure. That would have been one and done right here. Okay, refocus. Let's just. There's a lot of money to be made. Let's get focused here. Yeah, so GN, I mean, there's a lot of minor moves that tricks most people into their trading, and it gets them kind of whipped up. And when you look at the 200 and the 100 and get them in alignment, that filters out a lot of noise in price action. Then once you combine that with uh, the transitional zones and the harmony trading system and looking for those entry points right here, it filters out even more noise out of the market. So you are kind of trading pure price action. At least that's how I designed it. That's the intention behind designing it. All right. So my objective number one in trading is to define environment, to know with high degree of consistency and without subjectivity that the market is lined up in one way or another. That is rule number one. That is my objective number one. Once, and I define that by two elements. One is the 200 and the 100 in alignment, and the second one is which cloud I am trading in. Is it long? Is it short cloud? So that's how I define that aspect. Now, the next stage of that trading process is to look for fresh and new transitional zones for my entry. And in that spot, I'm looking for either a captain setup, switch trade like the one that you saw here, or a trigger trade or a railroad, three signals, or switch trade, excuse me. When I see any of those signals, uh, That is my entry point. Then it's just a function of managing my risk and managing my exit. Then rinse and repeat. But you define the environment, look for an area of price action that you're interested in buying or shorting, and that's the transitional zone. And third is you're looking for a signal. Fourth is calmly execute. Fifth, calmly exit. Seven, calmly unwind from the trade and rinse and repeat. Rinko range is by far a more superior approach because it takes out time, and time is irrelevant if you are trading this way. Doesn't matter for me how long it takes them to. I'm sitting here talking, and there are trades to be made. Good Lord, listen. Yeah, this one here. I do both. I scalp to build up the day. Then once my day is built up, I will look for bigger targets that are in the 20 to 50 to 100 point ranges. But I have to build up my day through income generating trades. Then and when I have a day that is, well built up in in the quality of the trades, in me being in sync with the market, and in the money that's made, then I can afford to sit down and go for bigger swings. Uh, Options, absolutely, and the beauty of options here, like if you're doing index options, like a Nasdaq calls and puts, using the 200 into Rinko is money, because you're trying to capture that type of behavior, and you see a lot of it happen. So if you can get the cloud in your favor and you get a signal long, and just it filters out a lot of the reversal patterns, and you're running 100 200 point moves here and or more. All right, let's focus. All right, Gian, welcome to the family. So another captain setup, and we hit target number 2, and boom, it's coming up, and off you go. So that whole cycle, uh, it started at 08. So we're at 90. Where did it start? It started right here. 08, and market took off. Once you get into this, then you're looking at the 100 and you're looking at the 20 into Rinko to make sure that you are in a wave long, or a harmony long up to these targets. So they built up another transitional zone here, put in a captain setup long, and at 56 entry, and hit target number 3 with it. Let's see. So, from the bigger perspective, what do we see the market doing here? I mean, they literally during glowbacks or flipped and ran the market up into the open, came back and took out that low, flushing people, trapping more longs here into another flush, give the impression that the market is really gonna sell off toward glowbacks, which is 882, and then the trap was set and they flipped it. So what prevented me, for example, what you're funny, Randolph. I appreciate I, app- I appreciate the sentiment. 13,007. That, for whatever reason, that tickled me. I can't tell you why, but it just tickled me. Uh, all right, so that's set. So the trap is set. They took it off. Okay, and they gave the impression of. So what prevented me from getting like short here? I got short here. I covered, but what prevented me? And we have to be very, very specific on what prevented me from getting stuck in that one. Let me see here. Let me see here. Not distracted by all of this is, let me see here, 47. All right. So that was that short that we took, and what prevented me from staying in it and or attempting a second one is the fact that we never reconnected here in this is the area where you're seeing consolidation like the one before it, then the market is supposed to give me another transitional zone. Well, it didn't, and it gave me a transitional zone on the upside. Then the 100 NT Rinko closed higher. So now I'm disconnecting myself from the idea of being short. So those are the early signs that the market is actually shifting. And being aware of that process keeps you from being short and staying short in a market that changes its personality quite often. All right. So again here, let's see 82. Let's take a look at 82. You need to break under 82. If they break under 82, the 200 and the 100 is going to be out of sync. Let's take a look at ES. So the market here shifted. Okay. So whenever you see captain setups in a cloud that is a negative, so this is a captain setup short, right? And actually captain setup switch trade short. When you see them in uh, a cloud that is negative, those weigh more and should be traded more aggressively than a captain setup short that happened in a cloud that is positive. So they did it once here and once here and failed it. You see a lot of patterns of failure whenever you are uh, trying to go captain setup in an upward trend. And look at the captain setups long. Captain setup long, one and two. So the captain setup longs worked, and the captain setup shorts against the trend naturally have a lower probability of them working. So I will stick to doing that. Go long in the captain setups that are in sync with the cloud. An example of that would be those three examples. Every single one of them worked. And avoid the ones that are against the cloud. So here we go. The market is out of sync right now between the 200 and the 100. So two things need to happen, right? Is either we get back up to 20 or we come back all the way down to 3150. If we break down to 3150, then that would set the stage for a bit of back and fill and reversal patterns. That's the name I gave him. Why I call them captain setups? Because it's a capping behavior. Whenever you see the price consolidate, they're capping. It's a capping behavior. All right, let's see here what the market is doing. So far, we have one trade in. So 30 and a quarter, 30 and a quarter. All right, let's see if they're gonna get to that 30 and a quarter. I mean, they're stair stepping lower, hitting target number 3. Target number 4 is 21, and target number 5 is 93, 12,993. So two things, like right now, if they flip the market and go up to 91, that gets you in sync on the long side, or they hit 31 and you get you in sync on the short side. So to me, it's a waiting game right now. I have to wait. If I understood your question, Sheila, correctly, okay, so the captain setup that happened here, short, there's two ways to treat these things. Okay. And the conservative side and the aggressive side. If you are conservative and you're looking for missing some opportunities for the chance of uh, executing a higher quality trade with higher probability, is to wait for the captain setup to be in sync with the cloud. And what that means that the market sometimes will put on a very good captain setup short against the cloud, and it would be a huge winner, and you are not going to participate in it. But that approach will keep you from some of the noise that happens sometimes in a market that is running up, and they put these consolidation patterns as a trap. it filters a lot of that out. If you are aggressive, then you take them when you see them, and you take that entry and you put a stop right above it, and and just take that risk of a stop out for the potential of having a huge reversal. So that's an aggressive behavior. Conservative behavior would be just follow the cloud, and any signal that is against the cloud, short, in this case, you ignore. Anything that is a long signal, you take. And we are getting very close to the 200 getting in sync here. All right. So 30, if we break 30 and we're very close, that gets us in sync on the short side. Here you go, captain setup, captain setup. So both of them. Here you go, an example, Sheila. You know, captain setup long, captain setup long, on, and it's against the cloud. I, I mean, I have a choice to take those, and some of them become very strong and powerful market turns. But I'm going against the trend here. Okay, they tend to fail when there's a strong, market force that is persistent on the short side. I am better off waiting for the market to go long and start to take these kind of signals. Correct. Carucius, I am Ninja Trader vendor. Okay, so market gets back in sync. Look at that pretty boy. Here we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. That's a pretty, pretty trade right here. 81 was the market getting in sync. And see that captain setup? Captain setup long, captain setup long. And then they based it and broke the channel, which is channel number 2 to the upside. And see the challenge of trading today is this type of behavior that you're seeing right here. So you get in sync at 82, you're not getting a pullback at 82, and you're going all the way to 125. That's the challenge. Is like, okay, if I take 82, I'm taking a risk all the way from 82 to 52. I don't want to take that much risk. It's just so this is parabolic behavior. And here you go again with that pullback. The market disconnected. We're looking for a market to reconnect again, and that move disconnected the 200 from the 100. So basically, it filtered out me participating in this structure. Now, if they came to the 82 and pulled back and gave me an entry, a point closer to my target, within that entry to target number one, then that would have been one thing. But for them to do this seesaw, up 100, what is that? What is that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Holy crap. It's almost a 100 point up, then flip it 50 point down, then go up 100 point up, then 200 points down. And it's doing it. It's not doing it gradually. It's just doing it in seconds. I would have to take a lot more risk to trade today. Like I literally would have to jump in at 82 and take a 50-point stop in order to be effective. You can't trade this market today with a 10-point stop. I mean, you just get you'll get drowned in the noise. So back to your question, Karush. Again, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I hate when people butcher names, so correct me if I'm wrong on the pronunciation. But a captain setup. Why did I call it captain setup quickly? It's you see the price hitting a level and getting capped from moving any higher. It comes back down, it runs back up again to that same exact level, 106, and it's getting capped from running higher. Then the failure pattern presents itself for a very nice move lower. So I kept saying, okay, I'm going to call it a capping setup, capping setup, capping setup, captain setup, captain setup. Okay, sounds better. Captain setup sounds better. And I went with it. Like literally how this is how I came up with that one. And here comes another captain setup. We should go higher. A little bit at least. Boom. Or a lot. That's a good one. That's a good one right here. Okay, so the 200 and the 100 is back in sync. You got a captain set up long here. And let's see if I can get involved in a trade. and I'm looking for the market to disconnect and reconnect, and we'll see if that presents us with an entry point. Okay, Ken. All right. All right. So they're disconnecting here. Let's see if I can get a connection back in. We need a new transitional zone, and we cannot break 80. And they're breaking 80. Okay. Well, that is a trap then. And thank you for showing me the trap. Yeah, that's a trap. So the 200 and the 100 got back in sync. So what prevented me from, okay, so captain setup, an entry and an exit is you're looking for another rotation with another transitional zone, and it's didn't happen. So you're waiting, doesn't happen. Market does this number and they flush everybody down. The trades that you don't take are trades as well. So 55 and a quarter was the 200 NT Rinko flipping again. So what is the market doing right now? Look what they just did. They took it out. This is how sick the market is today. Uh, they took out the high of Globex and loaded up bunch of longs and covered bunch of shorts and then reversed the whole pattern lower. They came into that spot exactly right here, and you got yourself everybody that got long here stayed long, got crushed, and then they ran the stops right under that level and reversed the market. So they took out the longs and the shorts, then here took out the longs and the shorts. And they're trading in the middle of the range. That is a market in consolidation, which is a very typical market to see when you have a big move the prior day. Okay? That doesn't mean it doesn't provide you with great opportunity. It does. It's just simply you have to be cautious of that type of behavior. And typically it the market is a little bit would be more constrained, but because of the volatility that we are in right now, the ranges are higher and bigger. So that's really providing us with really truly a lot of great opportunities. If I can get myself to kind of enter some of this stuff. Here we go. All right, let's work. Let's work. I mean, right here is an entry point at 60.75. I'm gonna have to stop myself out if we. Yep, I'm gonna stop myself out very quickly here. Yeah. So, oh yeah, look at that. That is some wicked stuff going on right now. So the market got back out of sync very quickly. So it needed to work immediately. It needed to work like right there. At 65, needed to see a candle in my favor. And the fact that it flipped right there, that was a good reason for me to be out of it. So that's that trade. So we made 1500, give back 759, and we're up 770. Moving on to the next decision. $200 in Tirinko is still short. I mean, look at this mess. Man. Okay, let's see if we can get another transitional zone belt. And I'll take another trade. It's 1014. Okay, no transitional zone. Hmm. And they flip the transitional zone again. All right. So that what is that? The market is out of sync. Market is out of sync. Yeah, that's an extreme choppiness right here. You got to take your stops quick. Now, what happens if we break 81? 81 will be the market getting back in sync on the short side. And we're seeing some really choppiness here, but that's fine. I got to keep it light and just go from there. 80, 50. Here we go. They broke it, so the market is back in sync. Ooh, look at that. Let's see if I can get an entry. Man. Now we're looking for rallies as a shorting opportunities, and we are looking at it. We need a new transitional zone to produce itself, meaning need a run up, a consolidation, this transitional zone getting out of sync, and then back in sync. And we'll see if that happens. Okay, they're disconnected. Let's see if they get back in sync. I mean, they're putting a switch trade right here at 73. That's a good spot, but well, maybe not. It's still out of sync. Wow, look at that. Yeah, there's no. It never gave me a transitional zone. Never did. I mean, what's going on out there? I mean, there must be some news going on that is making this market act this way. Any no? Let me see here. CNN or all right, back in sync, and they have a captain set up short right here. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Came back in with that move. Let's see if we can run it back up, and we will take on a trade. Same concept. We're looking for a disconnect and reconnect. Not really seeing any significant news that I would say it should be the catalyst for this. I think just there's a lot of volatility pent up, especially after that massive uh massive moves that we had yesterday. Well, if we break 130, guess what? The market is in sync on the long side at that point. But the conditions are let them get in sync. Then I got to come into the 20 NT Rinko, and whatever that initial transitional zone is, I'm looking for it to disconnect and reconnect. So this way I'm getting fresh behavior and not just, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm with you 100%, Adam, on this one. That is just some craziness going on here. And I say crazy, it's not really crazy. It's just the type of behavior here is a bit on the extreme side in the way they're moving. And my job right now in this environment is to protect my capital. Really is. Because when a market moves 100 points in literally 5 seconds, which we just saw that not too long ago, okay, uh, you are in an extreme volatility environment, and you just have to kind of be kind of play a bit defensive with your capital. Yeah, 30 is going to be an important level for us. GM, how we doing today? Are we okay? Making money? Yeah, 30 and a quarter. So I'm waiting on two things to happen. You go above 30 or you come back down to 82. 82 will trigger shorts. 31 will trigger longs as an environment. Then you're looking for entry points. There you go. Anything in between is their building stops. This is critical what they just did here. Look at that 82 coming in. Man, that is some wicked stuff going on. 82. Here we go, 82. So now the market is in sync on the short side again. And let's find another transitional zone. If they're so kind to give it to us. If I want to be aggressive, I would take this inception trade right here that just happened and then manage it with ads in the middle of the range. But I'm going to be conservative and I'm going to look for a new transitional zone to be built up. Yeah, it's a circus show, Adam. It's a circus show right now. I wouldn't be hyperactive in this environment. I would be extremely selective. I'll be more protective of my capital. This is an environment that is chop suey, as they call it. Here we go. And I need a signal here. I don't have it yet. I mean, that's a switch trade right here. Come on, baby, give it to me. All right. Uh, they're going to do me in again. Yep. Yep. I got to take it. I got to take it. I got to take it. Yeah, it's this behavior is a bit tough. And we know it too, but let's see if we can get it in here again. I mean, here we go. A spear trade. Let's see if I can get in. If they close it at 81, I'll get in. Let's see. And nope. Nope. They put a captain set up long on the 50 NT Rinko. Yeah, if you break above 20, that would be, yeah, a market out of sync again, and most likely we're gonna hit 30. I think if that's the case, that most likely we're gonna see 50 if we do that. Okay, here we go. They hit the 30, and now the 200 is long, and the 100 is long. So I'm going to be looking for long signals as long as I get a transitional zone. And you're getting one here. We need the pullback. They're putting a trigger trade here. Let's see. All right. So they put on a trigger trade. Excuse me. Yeah, trigger trade here, another trigger, a railroad trade right here. So you got two signals saying go long, go long. Yep, market is long. It is 10:33, and we are. That's where we at. We had a nice little profit. Kind of had two stops, very small ones, and we are basically about break even, 234. And let's move on to the next decision. Another transitional zone to the long side. And let's see here. Biden is speaking right now. Okay. That's a trigger trade long at 60. Expectation is to see 70. Yeah, it should be switch trade here. Okay, captain set up short. Okay, well, let's see what kind of mess. I think Biden speaking has an effect on this consolidation here. So let me take that back. I simply don't know, but he's speaking right now. The expectation is to see 70, but they're putting a bit of a pattern of consolidation. And now, if they close that candle lower, you have a higher odds of hitting 50 and 40 lower. Yeah, exactly right now. So we should see 50 and 40. That's what that is. Here you go, 40. He's speaking at a funeral. A funeral. Okay. So that's just a captain set up short, right? And they just like hit the wall here. Literally hit a wall. This price action could be significant here if we end up closing at 118, because that would disconnect the 200 from the 100. The expectation was to see, I mean, right here we had one rotation up, and this is the second rotation up. Uh, it was supposed to be the second rotation up, and the market kind of fizzled out. So you had actually in this rotation one, two, three rotations, and then the market stopped, reversed, and consolidating right now. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a disconnect coming up here. If we break the 1875, and I don't know who asked me that question. If you're following the war in Ukraine and you want to see things or news on a more tactical level, there is this website, and I'll leave you with the link of it here in a second. But you can see down on the tactical level where are some of the interactions between those forces and an associated article that explain exactly what's happening in that territory in that specific location. So it gives you a deeper insight on what's going on, and it make it graphical for you. It helps me out understand what's going on in Ukraine and stuff like that. So I'll put the link to it. If you're interested, you could take a look so you are better informed. There you go. Okay, they put a captain set up long here and flipped it. I may just reduce my size to two contracts and just play with this market here. Yeah, okay. That is actually a decent structure. Let's see if we can get back a disconnect and reconnect, and we'll take a look at an entry. The 200 is long, the 100 is long, and we're looking for an entry point if the market presents itself with a new transitional zone right now. If it does, great, we'll take it. If it doesn't, great, we will not take it. If we break down below 120, then the market at that point is disconnecting, and then that puts us in a pause. Yeah. ES, what is ES doing? I mean, here you go. Uh, so look at these captain setups. This is a captain setup on the long side when the cloud was positive. It's a decent move with the retest. You got a captain setup long right here, and this market was in transition. Then you got two captain setup shorts for for a minor move, but they're both are against they are against the cloud. So I prefer to be in sync with the market when I take these signals. It's if you're conservative, if you're aggressive, yeah, you could take him and just put a one candle stop and take the risk. Right now, the market is flipping again, and it's been like that. And wow, look at that. So the market is out of sync again. And whenever you go in sync and out of sync like this, often that's a telltale sign that the market is a consolidated market. I mean, that tells you if you ever looking to know the definition of consolidation and you want to be clear on what it looks like to avoid it is whenever you see this right now, where you're in sync on the long side, you're looking for the next rotation so you could get in, and it just fizzles out. Then it goes and it does it again. It fizzles out. You're really in a very tight range, relatively speaking. So two things need to happen. Again, it's either we break 143 again, and that will set us up for a continuation long, or this market is gonna go down to 83. If it does that, then the market is in sync on the short side. And I think it'll be you we will be that would be significant if we get to the 83, and I'll tell you why. Because look at the mimicking behavior that the market is doing. It's it puts a one candle reversal, it then fails it, then reverse it and make a big move. Guess what they're doing right now? They're doing the exact same thing. I mean, if this thing can close to 80 right now, so the exact so what they did here, they're potentially about to do up at the prices that we are at, and we have to have that close at 80 in order for that idea to start taking hold. If we close at 80, rallies back up are shortable, and being a bit aggressive with it is not a bad choice because we're recognizing a specific pattern that the market is doing, and we're not too far away from 80 anyway. Now, what happens if I mean, we said the 143, right? Oh, excuse me, 130. So let's put that line back in here. So either they get up there to that 132 or we come back down to that 82. One of these events need to happen in order for us to act. ES, uh, on the 6NT Rinko, you have a channel on the downside, and we are in channel number one, short, and with a stop at 42.11 half. And if this candle closes lower at 205.75, this is going to trigger a selling pressure right now. Here it comes. 80. Should be seeing 80 here coming up. Yeah, that was it right there in ES. That was a switch trade at the beginning of a new transitional zone, and the 200 is closed, mimicking the earlier behavior on the long side. So, what are we to do? We are going to be looking for entry points on the short side once the market give me another transitional zone, if they're so kind to give it to me before they crash this market. It's 10:55. Market is disconnecting here. Let's see the quality of the run up that we're about to have, and see how persistent are the shorts in it. Well, here you go. It's happening. I mean, unless as long as we do not break 105. Okay, here you go. 105. What we're looking for here is a transitional zone a new one. And I'm cutting my size. I'm not gonna trade 5 contracts in this environment. If I'm gonna trade size, I'm gonna have to trade it in a range and not at a specific location. Let's see here. So here you go again, Sheila. So you see this captain setup that they built. All right. So that's against the cloud. And it did work at 99 all the way to 204, 5 points. So you're seeing that, you see some of them succeed. But if you look at the overall behavior, you're always better off if that signal, was in a long cloud, because you pretty much have a long signal and also have the cloud, meaning the trend is in your favor along with that signal. So if somebody's very aggressive and he just likes to take the captain setups, then boom, here you go. Oh nine to 204, but you're running the risk of what happened earlier where, marginal trades, but the big winners are, or marginal stops, and then you got the big ones are happening on the long side in sync with the trend. So right now the market is disconnecting here. They put a cloud positive, and we're looking for the market to get back in sync on the short side. The target for this rotation should be 50. And yep, hold on. 80. Excuse me, 45. 45. But we have to have our signal. We have to have the cloud in our favor, or at least a transitional zone that we can measure risk off of. Right now, you're getting a bunch of consolidation and a cloud that is positive. So the idea is good. The environment that we are in is conducive of selling pressure, but we need to see more out of this market before we commit. I'm in what? In ES? I'm gonna base it. I'm gonna base it on what I see in NQ, because I mean they're gonna mimic each other right now to a certain extent. I'm looking. I just got a fresh reversal on the 200 NT Rinko on NQ, and I'm seeing the 200 and the 100 are in sync on the short side. So I'm more inclined to go short than long at this level. If they want to go all the way up to 154, if the market wants to do that, then I'll revisit the long side of this market, and I will miss this opportunity to go long. But I gotta go with the structure that I see right this moment. All So, okay, they're putting a spear trade right here. Can we get an actual retracement? That is just the personality of the day. There you go. Here comes the 50, and 40 is to follow. Here you go. Target hit. So they triggered the spear trade right here at 68, and which means that I would have had to assume the risk from 68 to 85. I mean, it's decent. It's 20-point risk, but I mean, I rather see them do this and come back to the middle of the range and give me an actual, like a trigger trade, like a run up of 2 to 3 candles, than a one candle reversal right there. Those over time produces less risk and higher reward ratio than just constantly going into this spear trades. Whenever the market is parabolic, which is today is the day for that, you see this type of behavior. Okay, well, here you go. So now they're out of sync. We want them to be back in sync. And guess what? 80. So the market hit 80 and the market is out of sync. And that puts us in a holding pattern, waiting for the market to do the following. 200 NT Rinko is pointing lower, and the 100 NT Rinko is pointing higher. So that disconnect, that means the major move is short and the minor move is long, and the market is out of sorts right now. So I wanted to see two things happen. One is a break below 42, or a run up to 132. A 132 will close the 200 to the upside, and a run down to 44 will close this candle lower, and the market will be in sync on the short side. They just put a captain setup short right here. Let's see how they handle the 65. So that is the scenario in which anything in between, and definitely in today's market, the way it's been behaving, I rather just kind of leave it alone. Either get back in sync short, or go all the way and reverse the market. Anything in between, I don't want to play. And that saves me from getting into marginal trades and or whippy price action. Now here, if this candle closes lower at 71, that's a captain setup switch trade short, and that would lead us to 65.60 at that point. But this candle that we are in on the 20 NT Rinko needs to close. It didn't, so that idea is not there anymore, and we're moving on to the next idea. Okay, let's see here. It's already 11 o'clock. Okay. Um, Yanis, you still around? All right, so this is our result for the day. Oh, yeah, this market is something. All right. Today is the 27th in the month April. We are down $234. And this is the rest of the month. Yesterday we reversed it, and the day before, I mean, the past 4 or 5 days, including Friday, it's been where in the morning I give up money, and later on in the day I make it back. I mean, this one was a bit of a tough day, but ultimately I recouped some of the losses that I had. Even here, I had a negative 14, and I turned it around to 23. Yesterday, I think I was down 3 early in the session and turned it back up to 28. And today, just a marginal stops. And, if I'll see what happened. I mean, the last hour of the day seems to be the most lucrative for me, and I'll take some there if I see the market kind of behaving well. Otherwise, that's what's going to be it for me for the day. So, Yanis, just stay in the room, and we will have our training meeting. And everybody else, thank you so much for being part of the day, part of my day. And we will see you bright and early tomorrow. And tomorrow is Thursday, right? And we will do this again. Yeah, Randolph. I mean, this is just a whippy market. And I feel like it's a victory for me to be either up a little bit of money or down a little bit of money in a market that is just unsettled like this. But be honest with you, the early on price action was very good. I just didn't take trades in that first half of 45 minutes hour, just because I kind of committed to not doing that, because that time frame in the past 3 4 days I bleeded some money, and I'm like, okay, well, how can I solve that problem? Okay, well, just don't trade that time frame for now. Let the market settle down, and it seems like I'm doing a lot better as the day progress because I'm catching on to the behavior of the market. So I just like, okay, just leave it alone, and we'll. But anyway, so that's it. That's how the month looks like, and we will see you guys on the next one. You guys have a good one.